Good morning to Onkomontu. This is the Power of Healing with Utabi. Ungowe Ketelo. First and foremost, I just want to appreciate everyone who's subscribed to my channel. I humbly appreciate that, guys, the fact that you are learning, because the whole point of the Power of Healing with Utabi is to learn and discover yourself within the spiritual journey, or find your spirituality. Now, I just want to share this one. So, a friend of mine shared a video, guys, about anxiety and depression and vitamin B12. We all need some sort of stimulation because we are suffering from anxiety and depression. However, guys, people have a lot to say about other people's business. People always have a lot to say about other people's businesses, something that does not concern you, and something that you know little about. I would say stick to what you know. Stick to what you know. And as I always say, ungaboy dismiss into ungayazi. And don't try. Everybody's entitled to opinion yakhe, right? But if into ingakafiki kuwe akuseyakho, yeke, because awazi nix ngayo. So you cannot try to explain something you know nothing about or you know little about. So hence I'm saying people have a lot to say about other people's businesses. Unfortunately, siphetwe abantu who would say it's none of, let it be like that, because we can respond to it, but we prefer not to. So I will not respond to it, guys, because I don't think it was meant for me. It's not my business. I was just saying that, I was just sharing that, yeah, I know about the anxiety and depression story. Yeah, and yeah, I'm hoping you are learning from my anxiety and my depression, right? Yeah, so thank you very much to all the subscribers that are subscribing to my channel. And let's learn, guys. Let's discover ourselves. Healing is not only found ebungomeni, prophecy, mediumship, or healing by means of tradition, but healing is done in every sphere of life. Healing is everywhere. You can't be a healer in your own profession, and it doesn't mean that people who have answered to their calling had no professions, had none, had little education, or did not go to school. Most of these people have qualifications, degrees, PhDs. They just answered to their calling. Because some of us are really following the sole purpose in which we are called for in life. And it is very encouraging when somebody understands their purpose, because kunabantu abaphilayo and yet they don't know their sole purpose in this life and where they are going. So if you have found who you are and what you are and embraced that, congratulations to you. And we shouldn't put you down or undermine you just because you have answered to your calling. So let us not undermine other people for following their spirituality or their spiritual journey, because it doesn't then mean they know little about God and other things in life. It just means that their main focus is what they have been called for and to serve that purpose. That's not the topic for today. The topic for today is about Imfihlo zamanzi. And unfortunately, guys, with this video, I'm going to have to elaborate more in isiZulu so that it makes sense. Okay, so please do forgive me, or I do apologize that I'm going to talk kakhulu in isiZulu about this topic. So we're going to talk about imfihlo zamanzi, and also knowing the level that you are at with the spirit, the water spirits. So imfihlo zamanzi, nezinga okulo nabaphathi bamanzi, nezinga okulo wena nabaphathi bamanzi. So the level in which you are at with the water spirits and the secret of the water. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to share a lot of secrets. There's a lot of secrets, guys, and I don't want to share most of the things because we have a tendency of copying and pasting. So I'm going to try and not share so much, because I want it to be an individual journey and an individual experience. And the whole point, before I forget about this as well, for me to do this video, basically I'm doing it for the people that have outstanding rituals with me, or have undergone water rituals with me. It would make sense even better. People who have booked water rituals with me, and people that I've done rituals with, this would make sense to them even better. So I'm just trying to give you more understanding to why and how I do things, so you know. Okay, so first and foremost, engifuna ukusho about imfihlo zamanzi, guys. Umahluko, there's a difference between ukuphathiswa amanzi nokukhethwa abadala bamanzi. There's a difference between those two things. Question is, when you are going to take abantu to water cleansing, uwaphathisiwe yini amanzi, or you were just chosen by the water spirits? Because there's a difference between the two. If you have been given the water gift, the water healing gift, or you were chosen by the water spirits, those are two main different things. Okay, umuntu ophathiswe amanzi, umuntu one gift of using water as a healing method. And then when you are chosen by the water spirit, it doesn't necessarily mean you uphathisiwe amandla manzi. I don't know if it makes sense. If you are chosen by the water spirit, it does not necessarily mean uphathisiwe amandla amanzi. It does not necessarily mean that you have been given the water healing gift. Okay? Now, when you are chosen by water spirits, it means that, and this goes, I didn't want to exclude other people, other initiates, but mainly in self-initiates, when you are chosen by the water spirits, because we know that some of the people or the chosens of the water spirits go through a self-initiation. Right, we've done that, we've dealt with it. Now, but that does not mean you're going to heal using water, because not all of us, let's say that, not all of us have been given the gift of healing with water. So it is very important that when uthatha abantu and going to cleanse them emanzini, you understand the rules and the regulations of water, of the water and the water spirits. So if uwaphathisiwe amanzi, there's certain rules and regulations that you are given ozosebenza ngawo nalawo manzi. And umuntu ophathiswe amanzi, no matter where you are, it doesn't necessarily has to be the ocean, the sea, the waterfalls, impopomo, the rivers, the imifula, the dams, the umuntu ophathiswe amanzi, wherever you are, including your own house, there is an everyday communication between you namanzi. There is everyday communication between you and namanzi. even if you are at home, because lento ikuwe. So when you're going to take abantu uyobageza emanzini, you know what to do, you know what things to follow. Sikhuluma ngomuntu ophathisiwe amanzi angithi. You know what to follow, you know what to do, because lento ikuwe. So even if I have to bless water inside my own house, it would make sense and it would give it more strength and power, because ngiwaphathisiwe amanzi. Okay? Guys, our water spirit know things before we do things. Okay, so if kunezinto that would actually, and Gogo said I must say this, kunalezinto lezi ezenza ukuthi umuntu angafinyelele emanzini, or noma seke finyelele emanzini kungakhanyi. And I'm going to count them. Uthuthu uyahamba uye emanzini, but things still are standing still, or things are still not working out for you. But you've gone through the water, because we all think, yes, the water possesses light and power and purity and a whole lot of, and mostly the strength, amandla, the power. Now, amanzi possesses all of that. Amanzi possesses the power that we need in our spiritual journey, or the strength that we need in our spiritual journey. But sometimes you can go to emanzini, but things still don't work out, and there's reasons why. Unabantu abakolo who owe the water spirits. You owe them. There are people who that's when kunezinto ongazenzanga, and especially self-initiates. Kunezinto that you did not follow through properly for you to go and do a water cleansing or a water ritual. And then you need to appease the water spirits. There are people who still need to appease the water spirits, in a sense that you have wronged them in a certain way, and for you and within a certain space or certain phase of your life, and you need to go and appease them before you can take on amandla wako emanzini. So, and then there are people who are supposed to go and do inhlambuluko before they can even go and ukothatha amandla emanzini. Okay, you still need to go uyohlambuluka somewhere, and this goes in a lot of different ways. Kunomuntu who still has to go be cleansed for something kwenye indawo, let's say ehlane entabeni, because before you can come and do the water journey or the water ritual, kunomuntu okusafanele ukuthi ahlambuluke ebantwini, which is now you still have to go and confess some of the things or open up to some of the things ebantwini. Sometimes it may be family, it may be colleagues, it may be friends, for you ukuthi ukhululeke, for you to be free and go and perform certain cleansing rituals. So hence I say, kunabantu, not everyone needs not everyone needs to do a cleansing or a cleansing ritual in water. Not everyone. So that is why in my space I would say, let me read you, or do a reading or a consultation, because I do not do water rituals based on what you have been told, but I have to see this by myself, because when I go and explain to Amatonga of what I'm supposed to do for you, I need to tell them the reasons why I'm taking you to a man's. So if I don't know the proper reasons why I'm taking you to a man's, then I'll be putting myself and you in danger as well. And then also, water spirit, water guys, amanzi, no matter how many times you've been practicing, no matter how many years, the spiritual journey does not work with experience. And I'm going to make more emphasis on this one. The spiritual journey does not work with experience. So does the water and water spirits, or the water healing gift. it does not work on experience. I go there every day. You can go there and it's a different time, because water spirits, there is certain auspicious times that we visit, and there's certain or that we're not supposed to even touch the water. When we talk about auspicious times, I'm going to explain it later. We do not touch the water then, because there is a certain meaning, or that time is dedicated for something different. Hence we talk about the auspicious time, the holy time. So you don't go to amanzi at that moment. That's why I said I won't go deeper into details, because you need to know this if you've been given the water healing gift. So water does not work with experience. That is why the amatonga, or your spirit guides, or the chief spirits, or the water spirits themselves, have to guide you how to do things. Okay. Before I get into this one, let's go here now. So, masithi thina uphathisiwa manzi. You've got a water healing gift. Sikhuluma in a manner in which you know how to communicate with the water itself and the water spirits. Uyakwazi ukukhuluma nendlondo zamanzi ngendlela ehlukile, and the relationship that you have with them allows you to use water ngendlela right, because even with water, even when you use it, regardless of the fact that you've uye emanzini or uye elwandle or uye empophomeni uye emfuleni, every day kunendlela asetshenziswa ngayo. And as uwasebenzisa awenzi noma kanjani ngawo. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about this. Imfihlo zethu namatonga, guys. Sina tendency of sharing. So what do I mean? We have secrets with our spirit guides and amatonga and ancestors and ancestors. We have secrets that we only share with them. Now your ancestors will show you and say you need to go to Emfuleni, or you need to go to Olwandle or Empophomeni. And then you go about going and consulting with another healer and telling them, why are you sharing that? Because it's between you and Nana. And the amatonga, when you dreamt of that thing, they did not say go and invite, or you need company to do that thing. They were telling you because they are sending only you, which is a journey that is supposed to be undergone by only you. So why are you now going and sharing? Because when they show you, when they tell you, they give you auspicious times that you're supposed to go there and look, and lawa mandla akho in itself. So why share it? And if you come to me with a dream that says I was shown water to go to, if abakbonisanga 2 or 3 people within the dream that you were with, if abakbonisanga, that means you need to go to it alone. Because if I accompany you to that water, khona ozosala, because it wasn't my journey, it wasn't into yami. So if you come to my space and consult, and then they show me that I have to take you now, that's a total different story. But if they came to you first and said you need to go uyolungisa, you can just advise and say, so how do I prepare for it? But you can, and then it comes to a point where, have you ever done it? Okay. Now if they say to me, if they show you amanzi after I have or I have maybe done a consultation with you, surely then on the consultation they would have shown me ukuthi ngithathe ngikuse emanzini, right? So you get a dream after I have consulted with you. It is just a validation that, okay, vele lento engukutshele yona, we need to go do it together. However, if you just dream of it randomly without being shown other people in the water with you, if they show you wena and 2 or more people, that means you can bring somebody along just for support, and also maybe you are unfamiliar of what to do. But if they show you as you go undergoing that alone, that means it's your alone journey. You cannot take me with you. And if I see it by myself, then as somebody who's familiar with what needs to be done there, it's within my choice to whether bring someone. However, that person will not participate that much into what I'm going to do in that space, because the space, that thing is meant for me. And this now goes to where, let's say for instance, you need somebody to drive you to that place. Because also with water, you must understand that they need to show you, when they show you the dream that you need to go to water, they also need to show you where. Because not wonke umuntu faneke aye a famous mpopomo that's been shown on social media or wherever. They show you in terms of your intuition, and this is what I talk about when I talk about intuition. They show you in terms of revelations and visions. They show you in a dream. However, it is then dangerous when now you've known for some time that you're supposed to go and do a water ritual, and you've been postponing it, and now you see, as you're sitting by umpetwako or your sitting room, you now see ulwandle coming and covering you. Now that's a total different message, because then they are saying sesizokulanda thina, because we've been showing you this thing for some time, but awulaleli, so now thina sesizozilandela wena, because then now it's dangerous for you. Those are just warning signs that you see this is now becoming out of hand, and you need to give attention to it. Alright? So when we get those kind of dreams, and imfihlo zakho namathongo akho, imfihlo zakho nama-spirit guides akho, don't go about sharing it. I wanted to share this as well before name. Guys, nabaphathi bamanzi. In dedicated, when I say dedicated, la emifuleni kukhona imfulo nabaphathi, kukhona elwandle kunabaphathi, impophomos nabaphathi. When we talk about abaphathi, they might not necessarily always be there, but there is umphathi wamanzi who crosses there. There is this water spirit that crosses there most of the time. So most of the time they are present in that river, in that dam, in that waterfall. They are forever present, and they will get to confirm to you sometimes that sikhona la, because sometimes you might go to the influence, but then you see abantwana badlala, and all of a sudden it becomes quiet. Then you'd see umuntu omdala, then you'd see this person sitting facing the opposite direction from where you're coming from. Or sometimes you just meet umuntu omdala along the road as you're going there, saying to you, ungayi lapha. That is the water spirit telling you ukuthi ungayi lapha, because, and even when you go with uwaphathisiwe amanzi, guys, mawaphathisiwe, especially amanzi, when you go there, the water communicates with you, whether lapho okhona, lapho zoyenza khona, whatever that, if it's the correct place for you. So there's certain things that you're going to perform first, and then the water will give you messages. Or you will hear messages saying we are ngena la, or lana, or this is not dangerous for you, it's too deep. That is why we say you need to have the relationship with the water. Neyithunywa zamanzi, nabaphathi bamanzi, because then azokwazi ukuwona ukuthi okay, namhlanje even the vibrations will warn you ukuthi go right, go wrong. And this is where I talk about auspicious time futhi. Now, rules and regulations of your calling and how to do things. So wonke umuntu unema rules and regulations for calling yakho, and how you were initiated, or if you've completed your self-initiation. There's sorry about that. There's rules and regulations on how you're going to conduct certain things or conduct certain rituals. And it's like we are given umthetho. We are given rules to follow. You don't do, there's nothing that I do in my space. There's nothing that I do that was not instructed to me. So the rules and regulations of how you conduct things within your calling. When do you do certain things? When you don't do certain things? What time? What date? Those are rules and regulations. How do you go about it? The boundaries within what you're going to do. The limits within what you're going to do. How you go about it. It is all given by Amatongako or your spirit guides or your ancestral guides. It is given to you. Also by the water spirits, especially if you're going to, if uphathiswa amanzi, it is given to you. Ukuthi, even with us as the people, or even with us, the people who chose you to work for us and heal through water. There's this and this and this and that you have to obey to, and you don't the do's and the don'ts of it. Okay, so E.g., let's talk about, I'm going to make examples, but I won't share deep there's some of the things that I won't share with you guys. So let's talk about time. There's time that is given to you, that is actually an auspicious time or holy time that is given to you specifically, or the place itself, uya kuphi nabantu bakho. And then also the blessing rituals that you have to do. So if you are my client and I have to perform a ritual for you, I am shown where to take you. Before I take you, I need to go and perform a certain blessing ritual, gulawo manzi, so that when I come, I am familiar, they are familiar with you. So ngiyo blessa, and as well as ngiyo landa, ngiyo cela, so that when I take you there, it is not umphathi walawo manzi or the water spirits in that certain place is familiar with me and my intentions. Okay, so you don't just take people anywhere, anyhow. You prepare for that journey. It's one journey that you prepare for. So with also, you must understand, with amanzi, guys, with water, Imfihlo zamanzi, cleanliness is very important. Holiness is very important. Purity is very important. There's certain things that you don't do when uzo emanzini. There's certain things that you don't eat. There's certain things that you don't bring emanzini. And if umuntu ophathiswe amanzi, you know exactly what is not needed emanzini. So let us stop misguiding people. Misguiding and misleading people, because when uwaphathisiwe amanzi, there is things that are not supposed to be taken to different places. Kunezinto ezingayi empophomeni, kunezinto ezingayi olwandle, kunezinto ezingayi emfuleni. And especially if kuzoba ukuthi umfula ophiwe wena, because umuntu nomuntu uphiwe umfula azos lapha amandla akhe khona, or uphiwe umfilo lapha or indawo impopho lapha azosebenzela khona. So those are the things that we really need to be careful of. And then kube nale this situation where you take a number of people to do ama water rituals. I mean, bayogezwa, bayobhabhadiswa, there's a lot of things. You need to be careful, because people carry different energies, and people have different connections to the water spirits. Some people do not even necessarily need to be there. Now you go as a group, kube khona basalayo, because you took people with experience to that place. Amanzi are dangerous, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. As you can have experience of it, go daktate on that day. So you took a group of people. Some of them you don't even know what they're going to do there. And now uhambe nabo, kube khona umuntu osalayo. Hence I've said people have different things that they have to perform before. Abanye kusafane bahlambuluke inhliziyo, abanye kusafane ukuthi izinto abazenzile, abanye they do need to correct their wrongs, and now you take all of these people uhamba nabo in one day. Awubazilelanga because you are more familiar with the water now, isn't it? Awubazilelanga labantu, you did not even uzote for, because one thing that I know about ukuhamba uyamanzi, kuyazilwa, kuyazothwa, kuyaphahlwa, uyalinda. Okay? Because as you're going to begin your journey, you give yourself time, or you give the water spirits time. You communicate to Sesekai, this is what I'm going to do. Why am I doing it for? Who am I doing it for? And what reasons? And what do I need to use when I get to that water? Nalo muntu lo. And the transport I'm going to be using, the drive I'm going to be using, and because as I bless everything that I'm going to be using there, with including the things I'm going to use, as I bless them during the week, zilindile for the journey. So now everything that I'm going to take there and everything I'm going to use on that day has to be blessed. So firstly, if uzo wenze njani uthumela, so what esusalindile, esusacela indlela yamanzi and all of that, esusazilile, usazothile, because iyazothelwa akusinto ehlanganiswa nezinto eziningi, and akusiyinto. That's why it's an individual journey, because it's in your own discretion, and you must understand exactly why you're doing it. Therefore, your heart in itself needs to be at peace and in a certain space, or your umoya wako, your spirit has to be in a certain space, so that lento yoyenza makes sense, and lento yoyenza iyozwakala kuwe, because after you have done it, need ukuthi izwakale ngisho emoyeni wakho ukuthi I've crossed that path, I'm done. Because you will get validations that you have actually, whatever that you did was lento iyamukelekile to the water spirits and to whomever that you were doing it for. So when you are going to do that, you prepare for it. As I did mention, iyacelwa. Okay, so lento lena iyacelwa, indlela yakhona iyacelwa, uyalinda, uyazila, uyaphahla, you pray a lot. Now, not the muntu ozobe uyoyenza naye, they need to do the same thing. So if uphathisiwe amanzi, then you communicate nezithunywa, nabaphathi bamanzi, nezindlondlo zamanzi, nezithunywa zamanzi, nezithunywa zendalo, nezithunywa zemvula, nezithunywa zemvelo, because when I'm going to go there, you send the Spirit of God first. You send the Holy Spirit first to go and in search of the place in which you're going to use. You send ithunya, which are the archangels or the chief spirits, ukuthi aziyohlola lamanzi enyongena kuwo. Then ithunya zemvula, they are going to on that day or the day before that day, there's a lot of confirmation that you are going to get from zonke le ithunya ezisebenzisana nawe, or lamathonga sebenzisana nawe. There's a lot of confirmation ngendlela yakho ozoyihamba that you're going to get. So if the weather will communicate with you, indalo in itself will communicate with you, abalozi will communicate with you, zonke ithunywa or bonke amathonga or mhlambe the spirit guides that work with you, they will confirm certain things with you. Hence I say, uyathumela before uya lapho. Ngisho uzophuma the day before uzophuma uyabika usengiyaphuma manje ngihamba nozibani banyana ngemoto ethize, so that endleleni manje libe niholwa, you are already known ukuthi uzanani kanjani. Now when you get there, you bless the place, there's things that you do there then zizokuconfirmela, so that also kuzokwazi ukuvuleka lamandla, uzothola ini permission. Okay, you're going to get permission to use that water, because you need permission. You seek for permission first to use that water. That is why when we get there, we pray and then we do all sorts of things, because you seek for permission to use that water, and then they're going to confirm whether the space in which you're going to use them. And also I always say to them, you choose a space that I'm going to use, because they have to confirm. If you're going to get to that water and it's dangerous, you are immediately going to get messages that lapho yongena khona ku dangerous, and they will show you another space to use, because you have communicated throughout with the water spirits and namathongako or nethunya that this is what's going on. So they are involved. That's the relationship that you would have, or that's the relationship that you would have with nabaphathi bamanzi. So there are times when, and then let's talk about auspicious times, because this I want to explain. When we talk about the auspicious time or the holy time, there is something that you need to know. I'm not going to share it with you, about water and the full moon, about the sun and water, but mostly the water and the full moon, the sunrise, sunshine, and the full and water. Water and the mountains, water and ihlane, the wilderness, or ihlane, and there is auspicious times for all these places. And the auspicious time, or the time that you are allocated with, or the time that has been given to you to use, will work in your favor when you understand certain things. When you understand the rules about the full moon and the water spirits. When you understand the sunrise and the water spirits. When you understand ilendo, sunset and the water spirits. And the meaning of all of that. When you understand the dates between the full moon and the water spirits, and what you can do and what you cannot do, and when you understand the happenings between the full moon and the water spirits, and why it is advised for you not to go in a certain times after or before the full moon. Why? With the water spirits, and with the month, the days of the month, and the full moon and the water spirits. There's a lot of things. So you need to understand what goes on there and what happens there, and what it is done there. Also, you need to understand, guna this time where even with spirits, guys, and I often hear people saying, hey, go wrong masunga saphupi. With spirits, amathonga, water spirits, ithunya, guna auspicious time when everything is quiet. Because there's guna sizathu. Sometimes you get it before or after the full moon, but that's why everything should be quiet. Therefore, even with dreams, it's going to be quiet. So it is not a problem sometimes. Mangabe amapupaka stopile for a certain time. Guna this auspicious time, and this is when they observe certain things, and that is God's time. Because we also need to understand there will be a time when it's God's time. There will be a time where, as somebody osebenzisana namathonga, there is a time sikaNkulunkulu, because he is the commander of all of these things. So I hope you guys have learned. Kunomuntu ophathisiwe amanzi, kunomuntu okhethwe abaphathi bamanzi. And it does not mean mawukhethwe abaphathi bamanzi necessarily you have a water healing gift. Necessarily you have a water gift. Necessarily you have a connection with water. So umuntu ophathiswa manzi has a certain relationship, deeper relationship with abaphathi bamanzi ney'thunywa zamanzi. Also understand isikhathi oya kuso, oya kusemanzini, why uya ngaleso sikhathi, kwenze njani. And this goes to all the self-initiates. Ufuneka ini from wena individually, or the person that's going to accompany you, if it is by means of a healer, because naye faneka guide ngendlela right. And I don't think anybody, that is why I'm very careful with the people that I go with, because you need to go to umazi umuntu. So even if uzohamba sizohamba semanzini, ngizokuhlola kala ukuthi lo muntu prepared for lento esoyenza lapha, or umuntu ofuna ukungilimaza odlala ngami. You understand? That is why I dedicated to one person at a time. And that's my space. Angikhuluma indaba zabantu engingazazi, bayazi bayihandlela kanjani. I dedicated to one person. There's a reason. So I do hope you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again for all the subscribers, guys. And I do hope that you would ask questions and clarity should you need to. And for consultation, my number is 061-890-7383. I don't answer questions on my WhatsApp. Those numbers are just for consultation. Thank you so much, guys.